I'm Jennifer Blackwell. I have been coming to Prestige Medical for about 6 years, mainly for just routine medical checkups, sinus infection here or there. And that really kind of ramped up in 2019. August of 2019, I was in a significant car accident. Ended up having to go to Northside to have a CAT scan done. I had a concussion and everything looked great on my CAT scan, but they came back and said, everything looks great, but there's this lump in your neck that you need to have checked. So I immediately called Caroline and said, where do I go? What do I do? She totally handled everything. She told me where to go. She told me when to be there. So ultimately, I ended up having an ultrasound done, and when those results came back, she said, we probably need to get a biopsy. Had a biopsy done, and it turned out that having this major car accident revealed that I actually had thyroid cancer, which I probably would not have known for years had that not happened. But ultimately, I'd had a major car accident, I had a concussion, I was very disconnected in my own brain, and then I was told that I had cancer, all in the span of about 7 days. And so Caroline, she would call, she would check on me, she would make sure that I was okay, and that if I needed anything, did I need to ask any questions. Ultimately, I had my thyroid removed, and that all kind of settled down. And then unfortunately, about 7 months later, I lost my 24-year-old daughter. And I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to recover from that. The day that my daughter passed away, my husband actually called up and asked to talk to Caroline, and she immediately she just jumped into action. She's like, I'm gonna call in some medication to try and help get through this period of time. She wanted to see me in a couple of weeks, and I immediately started taking whatever it was that she called in for me. I mean, at that point, I just needed to get through that period of time. I didn't realize that while taking care of a child that had suffered from mental illness, how much I was really taking away from myself. So, it was a tough time. And, my family was super supportive, but, there are times where you just feel broken. And I knew that I could come in here and I could tell Caroline how I was feeling, and she would sit down and take the time and actually hear me. I felt heard. And I think that's something that's really important for anybody that's going through anything, whether you're going through some type of sickness or you have some type of traumatic event. I think it's important that people feel heard. And with her, I feel heard. I can come in, I can say, I'm really happy today, and this is what's going on. And she's my cheerleader. She's like, that's awesome, let's keep that up. And if I'm having a hard time, she's like, okay, well, what do we need to do? What are you doing to take care of yourself? And so I do a lot of self-care. I believe that therapy has helped, but I also believe that the whole health medicine that I've gotten here from Caroline has been just as important as the mental health that I've gotten through a therapist or support groups or family and friends. So ultimately, we came up with a plan. It was quite the extensive plan to when I was ready and I felt like I was able to focus on, I've moved out of that initial grief phase. I really wanted to focus on getting myself back to where I felt like I needed to be, because I felt like I was lost. And we came up with a plan, and it was a combination of making sure that I was taking medication for anxiety and depression, because that's something that's still very real. And we came up with a plan to get some of the weight off that I had gained over the years from not taking care of myself. And I wasn't taking care of what I was eating and putting in my body, and I wasn't taking care of my skin, and I felt like I looked 15 years older than I was, and I just felt tired. And so we came up with this plan, and I started doing some of their weight loss therapy. I'm still in progress, but so far to date, I've lost 37 pounds. And, I feel pretty good. I mean, I don't huff and puff when I walk up the stairs anymore. And, I can put on cute clothes and feel like I look on the outside as how I am on the inside. Then we kind of morphed into some Botox and some fillers just to try and give me back some youthful volume that I've lost. We age, and we don't necessarily feel like we're aging the way that we think we should age. But ultimately, it was a lot of education on how to take care of my skin. So I've had a series of VI peels, which really kind of shed what I joked about being thyroid skin. So having thyroid cancer, your hormones are messed up. It affects your hair, it affects your nails, it affects your skin. It affects basically every structure in your body. And so I had what I would, call thyroid skin. The VI peels have that, a little bit of Botox, a little bit of fillers, really kind of started to give me my confidence back. When you take care of a kid that struggles, as a parent, you pour everything you can into trying to heal them. And you forget that you have to take good care of yourself, because if you're not healthy and you're not well, you're really not any good to anybody else. So ultimately, coming to Prestige has given me back who I was, 10 years ago. My life is different today, but it's still good. And it's good because I know that I can come here and I can get quality care. I have somebody that is going to listen to me. I'm going to feel heard, and she's going to give me the best advice possible.